we're watching the story of Carmelo and the open challenges that he is giving out, and not necessarily the story of the open challenge and whoever is holding the title at the time.
That's a great way to put it.
I'll say this. One, I'm not cutting any of that out. Two,
I hate that. Look, I don't mean to be a hater, but like I saw that, I was like, yeah, Bo. I don't think Bo's been doing too much in a while.
Welcome to the Lariat Lounge. This is the home of smart takes, hard hits, and real talk. I'm your host, Everson Godfrey, co-host Andrew Skeens. Skeener, we have a brand new WWE champion, and his name is Drew McIntyre. Couldn't have happened to a better person, in my opinion. I think that was an incredible swerve to give us WWE fans. Now, admittedly, I think it's a bit of a shame that we had to get it on the European portion of the tour. I would have loved to have gotten the American crowd on this, but hey, you know what? Our UK friends need a little love too. You know, it's weird that it always seems to happen with Drew, but hey, you know what? We'll get to that in a little bit. But before we get into any of that, Skeener, how you doing, brother?
You good, brother? How about you? Exciting episode of SmackDown, that's for sure. Yeah, we got lots to talk about.
We do. An exciting episode of SmackDown. That's a rarity. It seems odd to be saying an exciting episode of SmackDown.
Yeah, we'll see how long that persists with the 3 hours, but for now, we are doing well.
Did it feel like 3 hours to you this week? Or last week?
Yeah. Yeah, it did. But that's okay.
Yeah.
It was a good 3 hours.
Yeah.
If it's a good 3 hours, that's fine.
Sure. I honestly, dude, I don't think I noticed it as much. And it may be because, they're on the European tour and I'm never watching these live because I could never actually catch it when it's originally airing. So I end up watching these things either the regular time or after regular time. And it seemed to cut certain things out, when you watch it in its replayed form. So I get a truncated version of the show anyway. And admittedly, some things I will kind of like fast forward through to like halfway through the match. So it cuts the time down just a little bit. And look, rest assured, there were a few matches here that I did kind of truncate a little bit because I could. But needless to say, I think the show was great. And honestly, Raw didn't disappoint either. So, but as always, the UK fans, I know that you all just do things differently. And listen, you may not get a show to come around maybe once a year. So you try to get all your ish in when you can. But I don't know, maybe it's cultural differences, but we'll talk about it. In fact, yeah, we will talk about it. I was about to do Trick Williams. Let's talk about it. But,
yes, talk about it.
But we'll get to it. But Skeener, please let everyone know where they can tune in and catch the Lariat Lounge every single week to hear some of these great takes as opposed to some of these other takes from some of these other podcasts that I'm going to speak on, but I'm not going to speak your name because I'm trying to be nice.
Well, if you want to catch the Lariat Lounge, we are coming at you once a week, every week as a podcast on all your favorite platforms. That's Apple Podcasts, that's Spotify, that's YouTube, wherever else you get your shows, we are there. We are over on Instagram at the Lariat Lounge Podcast. And as always, you can feel free to send us an email at thelariatlounge@gmail.com.
Yes, please do. We always love to get all of your feedback, all of your interactions. It's always appreciated. Good stuff, bad stuff, any stuff. It's all good stuff. And listen, if you are enjoying the stuff that we're putting out here for you guys, then please leave us a like rating wherever it is that you listen to this podcast. It's a small thing for you. It's free, but for us, it genuinely means the world. So we really do appreciate it. But hey, enough with the fluff. Let's get to the stuff. So, Skeener, before we really jump off this cliff into SmackDown and Raw, I was online today, and admittedly, I did not really dive into this podcast that I came across, but I saw the headline, which was something along the lines of CM Punk unloads on WWE, right? Now, this reeks of clickbait, right? And I am a total mark sometimes for clickbait, and I hate that because I'll click it, and then I'm like, I hate the fact that I clicked on this, right? But it drew me in. And it's some podcast. I don't know what it is. I've never heard of it before. They did like a vlog style podcast on YouTube, and they get to talking. They're talking about some comment that CM Punk made about fans not being happy with the fact that on the first Raw of the year on Netflix, the Stranger Things episode, that someone, maybe it was Michael Cole, maybe it was Corey Graves, casually mentioned, maybe at the open of the show, the 4 words, because I can count. Break the walls down. And apparently there's a contingent of the fan base, Skeeter, who heard that and was convinced that they were going to get Chris Jericho appearing on the first Raw of the year. When he did not show, apparently this contingent of fans were upset and they were making their voices heard online, as they do. And CM Punk, I'm not quoting here, but he said something along the lines of, I feel like these fans had some sort of headcanon that they were upset about when it did not happen. And this was
Sounds
enough.
like something we've said before.
Yeah.
Or at least I know I've said before.
Yeah. And apparently these guys thought that this was the most indignant thing that CM Punk could have said. And that because of that and the fact that, he is the World Heavyweight Champion now, that he is now a corporate shill for WWE, and that he sucks, and, he's washed up, and, of course he gets the title, and now he switches up, and now he's the corporate mouthpiece. And I'm like, dude, I feel like wrestling fans like this are really the type of wrestling fans that WWE probably makes their most amount of money off of. I genuinely think that wrestling fans like this are probably the ones who make very crucial decisions financially on whether or not they should purchase that championship belt versus maybe do something else with that money that is useful. And they buy in just a little too much to the dirt sheets. They listen just a little too closely to Brian Alvarez and his opinions and Dave Meltzer and his opinions. And because they listen to these outlets, they have adopted that philosophy. And they can't just quite understand, maybe breaking down the walls could just be a turn of phrase. Or maybe WWE could be alluding to something that they've just not revealed to you yet. This is what, in literary terms, is called breadcrumbs. And they could be dropping some breadcrumbs to get these peckish little hens to follow the trail, get excited, build anticipation for obviously an impending Jericho, who's probably going to show up at the Royal Rumble, as opposed to the first Raw of the year. And granted, yes, they made that Raw bigger than normal. But to equate it to WWE building up the first Raw to be like a PLE, and that for some reason it was blasphemous on WWE's part to drop those breadcrumbs on a quote-unquote PLE and not deliver Jericho. And then for Punk to respond the way that he did, which honestly, his statement sounded pretty benign to me. But you're in your feelings, and so now he is this corporatized shill for WWE, and it's partly due to the fact that he's champion now, so a lot of the ire that comes from the fans is going to be turned on him, as if somehow the champion is a legitimate spokesperson for the company. Like, let's be honest here. When Cody Rhodes was the WWE champion, he was not going out and doing PR press for the company because he now has the title. I don't think anybody outside of like Entertainment Tonight, Good Morning America, some sports outlets are really reaching out to Cody Rhodes when he was a champ, or CM Punk as he is the World Heavyweight Champion, and asking him for his opinion outside of anything other than general wrestling conversation. These people are not actual spokespersons for the company. So for them, and I say them as in the people who are criticizing, to look at a person like CM Punk and think to themselves that because he is World Heavyweight Champion, that he somehow has to sign a contract, some kind of non-disclosure, to really speak on certain things that are backstage and to run interference for the company is quite odd to me. It sounds a little bit ludicrous. But let me ask you, because your opinion, Skeeter, I value greatly. Your thoughts on this general situation, right? And what are your thoughts on wrestling outlets or wrestling fans that read so much into certain things?
I mean, I I feel like my feelings are quite clear on this. Like it just to back to like what Punk was saying on like people book these things in their head and then they get mad when what they get isn't what they thought should happen for a number of reasons, and it happens in every medium. I mean, I'm not going to derail it, but I think similar things happened with Stranger Things recently. So
Yes, it
like
did.
it's just this is what fandoms do, and this is the parts of it that we don't like, and it is what it is. Like you can't pay much mind to these things.
No.
I really don't think the internet's always going to be mad about everything.
Yep.
Pretty much is how I. You can't please everyone, and the people that are displeased are going to be the loudest, and the internet amplifies that, and it's just man, there's so much great stuff happening to enjoy that you get on the internet and you'd think that wrestling's the worst thing ever and the worst it's ever been, and all the shows suck and no one likes it, and there's no one in the audience and there's no one in the stands, and it is what it is. And I think Punk said something. If this is, I didn't hear the quote.
Yeah.
Or I didn't hear the quote you're talking about, but I did see something. It sounds like it's probably from the same interview where he talked about Jay and kind of this same phenomenon.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, and where he goes out in the arena and everyone's yeeting, and all he has to do his entrance, and he's the biggest star. But you go online, you think he's the worst wrestler ever. I think that's just another example of this phenomenon. So it's exhausting to me, and I try to engage with it as little as possible.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I ended up answering your question, but
no,
that's my thought.
I think it's a perfectly good response. I mean, that's what I asked for was your thoughts, right? And yeah, I think that's a perfectly good response. The internet is going to internet, and people are going to people, and you're not going to be able to please everyone. But I think that the most appropriate thing that you said, or at least the most correct thing that you said, was something that you stated before. And so I'll just reiterate it one final time, which is these folks build this headcanon and they get really upset when it does not work out the way they thought it was going to. And I'm going to tie that directly to what it is that I said earlier, and then we can get on to these excellent episodes of SmackDown and Raw. I genuinely feel like these are the same folks that will pop like no one's business when Jericho shows up when he does. You have built this headcanon based on a breadcrumb that was dropped. And because they did not deliver immediately, somehow WWE has missed an opportunity. And yeah, maybe they did miss an opportunity. Maybe it wasn't the best opportunity. Maybe it wasn't the biggest stage to reintroduce Jericho into the WWE universe. Maybe they're waiting for a bigger stage. Further, I can't quite understand why you would be upset with CM Punk's comments unless you felt like they were sticking to you. So I refrained from commenting in your comment section of your video because it wasn't where I wanted to invest my time. And I definitely, in a very self-serving way, wanted to give this commentary to our audience because we've talked to people before and they've talked to us about how they appreciate the fact that the Lariat Lounge is not like a lot of other outlets. And we don't go down the same path that a lot of outlets go. And so I just wanted to bring this to our audience to just remind everyone, in case you were not aware, that even though we are in a really great place right now with professional wrestling, there's always going to be some people who are going to find a reason to hate on this, even though they watch it. The hate watching is odd, but hey, whatever floats your boat or finds your lost remote, you do you. But we
Did
are.
You come up with that?
No, that is a
You could have told me you did.
I could have, but I don't want to lie to you either. I don't want to lie to you either. That was a line from Outkast. It was
Oh,
I can't remember what song that was on. Whatever floats your boat or finds your lost remote. It was a great line. But I like to adopt a lot of things that I find really cool. And so I have, in light of that, I have also adopted. Let's talk about it. So let's talk about SmackDown because we get the show opening up with one Randall Keith Orton. Now, Randy has made his, I don't know, what is this, maybe fifth or sixth return in the last couple years. So he's returned recently, and he's out here in front of the German crowd. I believe they were in Germany on last Friday. And
yeah, that was Berlin.
okay,
Berlin on Friday, Dusseldorf on Monday.
Dusseldorf on Monday, and Berlin on Friday. So he was in front of the Berlin crowd. He's doing his thing, and then Big Trick Willie shows up. Now, this is the first instance, Skeener, where I was thinking dually about what you said before about professional wrestlers who are somewhat new to the limelight and how they reflect on a global stage. And I was also thinking about how this sometimes is why I genuinely not dislike, but sometimes I don't like how some of the wrestling interactions go when the show goes global. And I get it to a certain extent. Maybe the wrestling fans in the UK are not exposed to NXT as much as we are. Maybe they don't watch. Maybe they have the Saudi mindset where it's like only the biggest names are the ones that they really care about. But the UK has always been a huge market for the WWE. And if you come to the show, my thought is that you probably watched the show. So if I had to come to some sort of conclusion, maybe it's that you have certain types of wrestlers that you like and certain types that you don't, which we all do, right? But culturally, these things will land different. Randy is obviously a made man in this business, and Trick is someone new. There was a somewhat audible whoop that Trick when he came out, but Trick Williams did not really get a huge pop when he came out. Julia didn't really get a big pop when she came out. Jade didn't get a big pop when she came out. Nor did the Jordan Grace. It was just interesting. The crowds are always interesting in the UK. But needless to say,
what's interesting to me is Jordan Grace. I agree with. I thought everyone else actually got some decent reactions. I guess maybe our expectations were different.
Maybe that's it.
Yeah, I thought it was okay. I mean, certainly it's not, deafening like we've seen sometimes, but I thought Trick got a decent reaction. Then I thought he was getting some decent heat when he during the promo and stuff. So
you may be right. Right.
I thought it was okay. But again, maybe that's expectations.
Yeah,
maybe my expectations were lower, so they were met.
You know what? Maybe that's possible. I will definitely be more inclined to take the driver's seat as far as responsibility is concerned, and that maybe my expectations were higher than what I should have expected from the European crowd. And so when the European crowd delivered what the European crowd does, you know what? I think you're right. I think you're 100% right, because now that I'm thinking about it, why would I not expect the European crowd to sing songs and do chants? They do it all the time.
Yeah, I was gonna say they don't have a song for Trick yet. So
no, but they sing songs all the time and they do these chants all the time. And I should absolutely expect this, but every single time they do it, Skeener, it catches me off guard every time. And I'm like, why are we singing? Why are we singing songs?
There was something they kept chanting, especially on Raw.
Yeah.
And I have no idea what it was.
None.
If any of our German listeners want to enlighten us, we would appreciate that.
Yeah.
Some of the crowd chants, because I had no idea what was going on. And sometimes the commentary will reference it and clue us in, but they were not.
No, they didn't clue us in at all. But needless to say, the German audience, we love you. And WWE loves you, and they gave you a great show. That match between Trick and Ray Phoenix. Listen, Ray Phoenix, let me just say something about Ray Phoenix, man. This dude has, in my opinion, probably the surest steps in the game. The way this dude moves across the ropes, in light of the fact that When I saw
Yeah, I think I
AJ's,
know exactly like one of the spots you're talking about. I remember thinking like he's definitely gonna like screw this up and fall, but he did not.
yes, I'm thinking about the spot. I can't remember exactly what it was, but
Well, he like it was in the corner and he like
yes,
jumped down from the top rope and then back up.
he jumped down from
Like
the
I thought
top rope
like
to
I
the
thought he
second
was in
rope.
yeah, I thought he was in the middle of screwing it up, but it's actually he wasn't.
No, yeah, dude. I mean, this guy is so freaking sure-footed. And, you know, it's not that I did not realize or understand that things can happen because they always do. But when they had that match, Javon Evans and what's his name? Leon Slater versus Dragon Lee and AJ Styles at Saturday Night's main event.
Oh yeah, yeah.
When AJ slipped, I don't recall too many times where I've ever seen AJ slip on the top rope. And oftentimes when people go up for high risk moves, as I get older, chronologically, as well as being a wrestling fan, I become more and more worried about the
Same.
wrestlers. You know what I mean? And it's like to see them take the high risk, it's always cool. It's always fun to see. But every time somebody dives through the ropes to the outside, every time they go to the top rope, there's a part of me now that's like, oh my gosh, please go well.
See, that doesn't get me as much, but I hate watching people flip and land on their feet because
Okay.
I'm just waiting for knees to
Yeah, you've been
go.
traumatized too many times by
In fact,
Seth and other
yeah,
people.
Seth twice, and yeah, every time someone like does a flip and lands on their feet, I'm like, oh Lord,
Yeah.
please.
See, the one that gets me is whenever they do like a suicide dive through the ropes.
Yeah,
That one gets me every time, dude, because there's so many ways. I'm always thinking somebody's gonna get a knee clipped,
it's always just head first and just
and
they're just leading with their head into whatever they hit.
yes, and my concern is always that like somebody's knee's gonna clip a rope, you know what I'm saying, or a
Mhm.
heel's gonna
Well,
clip a rope. We
we've
have.
seen that, and it does not go well.
It does not go well. And so it gets me every single time. So when I see Ray Phoenix do some of the things he does on the ropes, I'm like, yo, how is it that like 60%, 65% of your game is traversing the ropes and not just climbing them, but running them, jumping off of them, jumping down and then back up onto them. And you're so sure footed. You don't slip and you don't fall. That is a talent I genuinely think that you have to be born with. That type of balance, equilibrium, and like spatial awareness to know where your feet are. You know what I'm saying? Like you either born with that or you're not. And I think you can train yourself to be better at these things, but there are gonna be some people who are just naturally gifted in that way. And I keep wanting to say Dragon Lee. Ray Phoenix is as sure-footed as they come. But dude, yeah, that match was absolutely excellent. As much as I love Ray Phoenix, I'm very glad that it looks like WWE is ready and willing to invest in Trick Williams to get that victory over
What did you think about him? How he won? Because I was surprised that he won kind of
underhanded.
with a roll. Yeah, with a roll up, grabbing the tights.
I
I
think it fit.
guess
I think it fits his
I thought
character.
maybe more convincing, but yeah, it the way they're going with it. Yes, I guess I'm seeing where how they're going to portray the character, and that makes sense.
Yes, sell me the character first, and your execution in the ring or your dominance in the ring will come with your victories and will come with how well they sell your character. My biggest prop I think that I've ever given to a wrestler has been to Chelsea Green. And Chelsea Green lost a lot, but she sold her character, and WWE did a great job of assisting her with selling her character in the space that she was working in. And so, as much as she lost, I never lost like any type of like faith or hope or vision for where Chelsea is and what she could be doing. You know what I mean? And we've seen people come into the industry so many times and they've been booked like monsters, right? And it's like, okay, but like I need some stake. I need, you know what I'm saying? I need something behind these victories that makes me want to latch on to this character. And if you don't give me that, all you're doing is cycling through good talent. You know what I mean? And I think that Trick is a guy who he's got that level where he could do that, where he's got the look, he's got the feel in the ring. You could put him in a space and have him just do really convincing wins. But he's got a character that he has honed in NXT. And for a while, I wondered why WWE kept him in the oven for so long. And I think it's because they recognized at the time that they have somebody who is incredibly talented. A. B. They've got a character here. We just need to hone it. C. Once he found that character, they needed to give him a good heel run. Because he was doing this somewhat of this character while he was still a face. And one of the things that I've been noticing, that I noticed it with Roxanne Perez as well, that when they've got a person that they feel like has a really great grasp on their character and they've locked it in the ring, if you're not an Obafemi, where they feel like, hey, you are maybe the next big thing, right? Let them cook a little bit longer. Not that they necessarily need it, but to rush you to the main roster may not be the best move. And so they let Roxanne get over as a huge babyface as she was, and then they kept her on the burner for longer so she could go through this naturally great heel run. And now she's on the main roster, and wherever she's at, which she's currently at like the mid-card level, right? But her name rings bells a little bit louder than maybe some other people on the mid-card. And even though she's not in the championship picture, at least on a singles level, right? You could see her as that because her character is so well defined that the moments that she gets, she's able to capitalize on them, make them work. She's not shy in front of the camera. She can make it happen. And I think Trick Williams is another example of that. He's just got a character that is just so well defined and well rounded that the only thing you can do with him now when you put him on the main roster is just expand that sphere. Just make that sphere of influence larger, bigger, more encompassing. But you don't have to train him up more, right? Jade Cargill is a perfect example of what you could have done if you had put somebody in the oven a little longer. Like, did she ever even do an NXT run?
No.
That was a mistake.
No, you think?
I think so. I think that was a mistake. And not because she's not doing well, right? That's nothing to say about her not doing well, because I think she is doing well. But I think that if you put her in NXT and you had let her learn how to be the character that she is now, then she would have hit the main roster, still made the same splash, but she would have just been so much better on the microphone. Maybe you could have gotten to a character that's a little closer to this version of Jade when she debuted. Because we all thought that Jade was incredible when she debuted, but some of her weaknesses were very apparent. They were very glaring. And
yeah, I just think that was more to do with the casting, and she was going to come in as a face, and I don't know. I get what you're saying. I do. I just don't know if they would have been able to pull it off with Jade. I mean, they could have, but I think people just wanted to see her so much on the main roster, and they, wanted her there immediately to start making them money. So I get why they didn't, but I do agree with what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, I like, for instance, the next match on this card has someone in it that I think is almost identical to what I was just talking about with Jade, and that's Julia. Now, they recently put the United States Championship back on Julia, and I definitely feel like Julia was one of those people as well, who they were ready to get her on the main roster, and I understand it, but you could have let her cook a little longer. Develop something that the fans can really get behind. Because I'm not sure if I thought at the time, nor do I think now, that putting the U.S. Championship back on Julia was the right move. I think that you had a very interesting little angle that you had spent there with Chelsea taking that U.S. title off of her in the way that she did. To have Chelsea drop that U.S. title so quickly back to Julia, I can understand maybe if you feel like Julia is the better wrestler in the ring than Chelsea. But, I mean, have we not learned our lesson with booking talent as champions just because they're talented? Like, I'm struggling to understand what, for instance, this Women's United States Championship match did for Alexa Bliss. You know what I mean? Like, what
Yeah,
did
it
it
didn't
do?
really do anything for Alexa Bliss. It got Julia a win and got Alexa on TV. I guess Alexa and Charlotte stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, that's the thing, right? It's like, I don't think it did. I agree with you. I don't think it
Bliss.
did anything for Alexa Bliss. And
I
go ahead.
no, go ahead. No, you go ahead. You finish
That's
because
all I was gonna say. Was I don't think it
it'll
did
be
anything
different.
really for Alexa Bliss.
Yeah, it didn't. I was gonna say that I don't know, maybe for some reason it caught me in the right mood at the right time. I liked the little backstage interview with Julia. I know it was mostly not in English and it probably didn't do it for a lot of people, but I don't know, it grabbed me more than usual. And again, I guess maybe this is an expectations versus what we got thing. Like I had no expectations, so the fact that it was slightly entertaining to me, I
Yeah,
guess, was a win. I thought it was better. It didn't do much. It didn't move stuff. It's not like it's something I'm going to remember as a defining moment, but we spend so much time talking about how it's not hitting.
yeah,
I thought I should bring up that for some reason that one did hit with me.
yeah. No, I hear you. And listen,
Not majorly, but it was something.
no, I hear you, man. And listen, whatever it is that you can get from these things, I'm glad that people are getting something from it if they are. For me, I think I'm at a point now, and I'm not sure. I feel like this was my 2026 expectation and my hope for WWE, right? Was to give me substance with these things, right? It's very difficult for me to look at this as anything other than simply a match if you're not giving me anything else with it. You
Yeah,
know what I
that's what
mean?
it was. This simply was a match
This
for
was
sure.
simply a match. And, I'm not going to go overboard with certain things like, why did Alexa Bliss deserve to get this match? What was the qualification? Because listen, I understand this is pro wrestling, right? But you can work on the thing that pro wrestling is known for second to the action in the ring, which is the stories that you tell. Particularly because we are in this era of Unreal, where the backstage inner workings of these things are becoming more widely expressed to the general public, that storytelling should be one of, if not the most important aspect of what it is that you're doing, right? Because they're going to make a story off of either you making a story or not making a story out of a storyline. They're going to make a story out of it because of the metatextual aspect and elements that are WWE Unreal. So my thing is, if you're going to try to invest your energy into building story somewhere, at least center it around the biggest things in your solar system, which should be your titles. Those should be the things that should be pulling the most gravity with regard to your stories and have the most story beats orbiting around them. That's what it should always be. So I think it ties in beautifully to what we've always criticized about the US Open Challenge is that there is no story. When you don't build story into these things, right? These matches just happen. And I honestly feel like part of the reason why, and to jump ahead a bit, part of the reason why I am enjoying Carmelo Hayes as the US champion is because there is a lot of story around Carmelo right now on the main roster that is still very fresh in my head. All the stuff with the Miz and Miz, what's it? Miz don't miss. Oh, what's it?
Yeah,
The Miz don't miss.
Mellow don't miss.
Mello don't miss. All that stuff is still fresh in my head, right? They still take every opportunity they can to put Mello and Miz in front of us. Show that there's still this tension there. There's still this animosity there, right? But the tables are turned. And Mello is definitely not holding back his sentiment towards the Miz, but he's handling it in such a nonchalant way and is rubbing the Miz all the way the wrong way. And just those little beats, right, that just tie us back in. Every now and then we see Ilya pop up, right? And Ilya is having these conversations with Carmelo. And it doesn't always center around the US Open Challenge. It's about their history with each other, right? And the fact that they'll meet up one more time later on and they'll do some things. But, right now Ilya's got some focus on some other things. And all this stuff is tied together with Carmelo because they've done a pretty decent job of building some stories around him. So that when he does go into an open challenge, right, we're watching the story of Carmelo and the open challenges that he is giving out, and not necessarily the story of the open challenge and whoever is holding the title at the time.
That's a great way to put it. And that's kind of what we see, I think, now with Ilya, is that he doesn't have anything to do because he wasn't doing anything of substance.
Right.
He was just doing a thing. And you're right, the story was the open challenge, not the story of Ilya. Now, We'll see. Did we ever see what I know he had the interaction with Carmelo, and he's like, oh, I got something else to talk to Nick Aldis about. Did we find out what that was?
I don't believe we did.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Maybe
we did have an open challenge.
We did.
Which was a good match. Glad to see Shinsuke there again, because again, they're going to need another, another star to fill some of these 3 hours. So
yes.
It's good to see him back. I thought, again, the match was good.
Yes, it was.
Better than good. Match was great, but we'll see if anything comes of this or, where we go. I don't think Shinsuke and Melo are going to keep interacting. We had the thing with Shinsuke and Tama Tonga a little bit, so we'll see where they go. But again, we've got all this new TV time. We're going to need people. I'm going to give them a few weeks to see where they go, but we got more time we need to do stories of substance with and not just matches to have matches.
Yes. No, I agree wholeheartedly. Listen, I think that they're doing a decent job right now with the U.S. Open Challenge. And I think that's more so to do with the fact that they've been doing a much better job with how they've handled Carmelo. And as long as they keep a story circling around him, Carmelo Hayes, can be the U.S. champion. And he can use his position as the U.S. champion to have the Open Challenge just be a part of his story, and not have the story be around continuing the U.S. Open Challenge. I think that's really what doomed Sammy. I definitely feel like that's what doomed Ilya, is the fact that because
the U.S. Open is they did like 4, and then they're like, oh, we already ran out of guys. Let's just do these guys again.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing is, if you do it every week, you run out of guys pretty fast.
I agree. You do. You run out of people fast. But I'll tell you this, Skeener, the way that you make use of, and I say the way like I'm some expert. I'm no expert, guys. But in my opinion, the way that you make a limited roster work is to invest more energy into the people that are the limited roster. When you put too much emphasis on the U.S. Open Challenge, which is what they did with Sammy and definitely what they did with Ilya, right? Then you make it just about the challenge. And as long as the thing is about the challenge and is not about the stories that surround the people who are competing in the challenge, then you're going to cycle through people so quickly and you don't have anything to grab onto or gravitate towards when you have to run it back, right? Mm-hmm. There's nothing that really grounds this story in anything of substance when you have to run it back. The reason why Ilya versus Carmelo, in my opinion, was fine when they ran it back a few times was one, because like we said, we've been building a story around Carmelo, so it makes Carmelo a very important piece of this puzzle. But 2, because of that, they were able to graft a story haphazardly, short notice, right, between Ilya and Carmelo. This whole thing with Ilya and Carmelo and them talking backstage does not work if Carmelo is not built up, because they did not build up Ilya. So no one would care about these backstage interactions. But they do, because we care about what's going on with Carmelo. And then that makes us, by proxy, care about what Ilya is doing. This is why the characters matter. It's one of the monikers of this podcast, right? The characters are always going to matter. And if you pour into the characters and you make them matter, right, you can work with less. You can make a lot with a little. And it shows when you build up these characters, right? And we used to talk about it a lot. When Karrion Kross was on the roster, right? With as little bit of time as they gave him at one point. He made so much with the little bit of time he had because he was doing so much to make us invest in him as a character. That when he was interacting with Sammy backstage or when he was interacting with whoever, right? He made those seconds matter and he made them count. And I just think that WWE should make sure that they invest in the people and the stories that they are encompassed in. And I think that's what you'll make these titles matter a little bit more. I don't think I've cared as much about the United States Championship as of late as I have with Carmelo Hayes holding the title. And we haven't talked as much about the United States Championship in a positive light in quite a while.
They're definitely doing better. It's got a breath of fresh air, seemingly. So hopefully they continue on this path with it.
I agree. You know what I hope we don't continue on a path with? Do you know where I'm going with this?
There's only one place to go, I think.
Yeah. You know where I'm going. I hope that we do not continue. I hope we have reached a conclusion.
We're going to continue.
We are. I'm trying to wishful think. But, the fact that we cannot seem to get away from MFTs and the Wyatt Six. I will say this. The match was somewhat entertaining.
Yeah, like bell to bell was fine.
Yeah.
It was good. I don't want to just say fine. Like, it was good. The guys and gal are out there working hard, and they're doing well. The live crowds like it. I'm sure it's fun to watch, but like for an episodic TV viewer, it's still not doing much for me. So
yes, I think we've always said that. But it's going to continue
because the MFTs won because Bo Dallas was about to win, and Solo stole the magical lantern, which all of a sudden, or maybe this is how much I've tuned out, but they really made us know on commentary that the lantern is like their spiritual guide. So Solo took the lantern and got away with it, right? He took it away, and yeah, Bo was real wrapped up in that, and it caused him to lose.
Yeah.
So we'll have to do the Wyatt Six and the quest for the lantern here soon.
I really just want us to get to Bo Dallas / Uncle Howdy versus Solo Sikoa. Like,
it's seemingly where they're going.
I mean, yeah, like we need to put this crying child to bed, folks. Like, it's tired. It needs to rest.
It is.
And this is clear. This seems clear to me that this is a storyline that they don't mind continuing to keep going because they need to fill programming. They need to fill the 3 hours, and this is a match that they can put on that already has a built-in story that you don't really have to add a whole lot of thought process to fill some space. And so, they're doing this. Plus, the MFTs, they are entertaining. The Wyatt Six, listen, maybe it's somebody's cup of tea, not particularly mine, but they may scratch an itch for somebody. It's difficult for me because the MFTs, I'll say this, I don't see too many of the people in MFT besides Solo and maybe Tala Tonga, because there's still a bit of Vince McMahon's WWE that's baked into me in that, he's big.
Don't be ashamed. Don't be ashamed. I told you this when he first debuted, and now you're ashamed that you like it as well.
No, I'm just saying. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is he's an attraction.
You sound regretful that you like it because he's big.
No, I'm trying to reasonably find something in MFT that I find entertaining. I'm trying to be honest, right?
The look is cool.
The face paint was the best thing they ever did.
Yeah. And with Solo not doing it because he's the leader, that's kind of cool, sets him apart.
Yes.
I like that.
I agree. I totally agree.
A big helps the gang mentality.
Yes.
Sort of.
Yes. I think that them going with the face paint was the best thing that they could have done. It gives them a little something, right, to make them stand out and look. And honestly, they look scarier than the Wyatts.
Oh, yeah.
They look scarier than Wyatt. Let me say this. You know that the gimmick is failing when your whole shtick is to be the creepy, scary people. And then the tag team group that you are facing all of a sudden decides, hey, we're going to do black and white face paint. And they look scarier than you. And they're not trying to.
Well, because again, they didn't play it straight multiple times.
Yeah.
On TV. They have alluded to, like, they're not these people, they're just playing these people.
Yeah.
Like, you know, they pulled that out from under that gimmick in front of us. So, like, what are we supposed to do?
True.
And I'm gonna say this now, and you can cut this out in post if you want. But I noticed it this week, and this was my first thought. I don't want to say applaud, but I've noticed that in this cosplay gimmick, Bo Dallas has also foregone the gym, and I appreciate his dedication to the method acting there. Because I noticed a little bit more belly on Bo. And I don't think Bo's seen the gym in a while. And hey, commit to the character. That's all I'll say.
Listen,
as someone who loved Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
Not a big gym guy. Not a big gym guy.
I'll say this. One, I'm not cutting any of that out. Two,
I hate that. Look, I don't mean to be a hater, but like I saw that, I was like, Bo. I don't think Bo's been doing too much in a while. He hasn't been throwing around too much iron.
No, and listen, I the second thing I was going to say was that I don't disagree.
He's starting to fill out that leather.
I noticed it as well, but and I know that it's in jest, the whole thing about like committing to the bit, right? I don't think he's putting on weight to emulate his late brother.
No,
but I definitely agree that like this is just my opinion, and I'm not going to cut this out either. I don't think that this extra weight is going to serve him at all with regards to his place on the roster or with
because he doesn't have a place if they ever decide they're done with this.
Exactly. That you took the words right out of my mouth. If the Wyatt Six decides to dissolve either voluntarily or involuntarily, I guarantee you we're going to see Bo Dallas's name on an internal memo for people that got let go. I think that they've done the tribute band run. They no longer are they still the tag team champs?
I think, yeah, right.
Okay, I forget.
Because they retained.
Okay, I forget because these belts have been in such obscurity since they grabbed them. I don't even remember what's going on.
They're still the SmackDown tag champs.
At some point, you're right. Because I remember Solo talking about getting titles back. So I think the moment that you take these tag titles off of the Wyatt Six, I think that you're not going to see Dexter Lumis, Eric Rowan. You're not going to see Bray Wyatt. You're not going to see what's his name? God, he plays Husky the Pig. Yeah. Gacy. And you're not going to see old girl.
Nikki Cross.
I don't think you're going to see them at all.
Nikki Ash.
Yeah, I think the person who you would probably have the most likelihood of seeing once the Wyatt Six dismantles is Nikki Cross. Yeah, I think you'd see her.
She's proven she's done it before.
Because she's proven she's done it before, and she could fill in the women's roster. They can always use more people. And so she will probably
on SmackDown, yes.
Yeah, on SmackDown. I don't think they move her to Raw. So I think you probably see her show up more often. But the rest of them, I don't see it. I just don't see it. So, they can lose these titles, in my opinion. And the thing that worries me, right, and that's the last thing I'll say, and then we'll move on. The thing that worries me is even in the best case scenario, Skeeter, and we finally get those titles off of the Wyatts and they go on to MFT, what happens after that? Because the only other thing that I see on WWE programming, particularly with SmackDown, that's happening anywhere with the tag team division has to do with Johnny Gargano, Axiom, Nathan Frazier, and Tommaso Ciampa, right?
Not Tommaso Ciampa.
Oh yeah, wait, did he hurt?
No. The scuttle is that he is gone. He has made it known that he will be gone after his contract expires.
Really?
So, unless that changes, yeah.
Okay, this makes more sense why we've just been seeing Gargano.
Correct.
Okay. Well, so if that is the case, then we're down another tag team, which means either the Street Profits are going to have to come back soon, right? Or we're just down to Fraxium. So when the MFTs take those belts off the Wyatts, and I pray to God above they don't run it back, we're just going to have Fraxium. Like, where do we even go? This is so... it was such a bad idea when the Wyatts first got those belts to feed the entire tag team division to the Wyatts.
Mm-hmm.
It was a terrible idea because you just devalued every person in that whole thing. You devalued them. And now you're stuck in this position where the tag team titles are tied up between factions, right? One of them people don't care about, and the other one people are kind of like, yeah, they're kind of cool, right? But then once the belt gets off of them, where do you go? You got one other tag team. And I guarantee you're going to end up putting those tag team titles on Fraxium, and then probably MFT is going to break up.
We'll see. I don't know. Whatever it is, I'm not that excited for it. So
no, me either.
Whatever's going to happen, I'm not looking forward to it.
I'll tell you what I am looking forward to, though. So Jordynne Grace beats Alba Fire, right? That's not the thing I'm excited about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, we get Jordynne Grace's debut.
We get her debut on SmackDown.
A little interaction between her and Chelsea Green.
Yes. And a big interaction after the match with Jordynne Grace and Jade Cargill.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm excited about.
Which is good because seemingly we're just going to forget about the Jade and Michin and B-Fab stuff, which I'm, as I said last week, I'm good with.
What are you talking about? I already forgot.
Exactly.
I already forgot. So, I'm glad we moved on from that. And we're moving right into, hopefully, Jordynne Grace and Jade Cargill. This is the best decision WWE could make right now. Because I think that Jade, despite the fact that she has had very little in-ring competition as the champion so far, I think she is doing by far her best character work that she's done since she's been on the main roster. And my hat's off to that. This is what she needed. Invest in the character, not the championship, and then let the character make the championship. So,
well, she's seemingly way more suited to doing that bitch character than she was the face stuff and then the not so dominant heel. Like this is what she's made for, and it took us a while to get here, but we're here now.
Yes.
So yes, this is going well.
And it worked. I think it works well. And I think to Jordynne Grace's credit, I think that she is able to play off of a character like Jade exceptionally well, right? One, and let's just speak to the obvious. The physicality between the two of these women is supernova, right? Like these are two physical specimens in two very different ways. And it works out incredibly well. There's a lot of strength in this ring, right? But because of Jade's height difference, I think it's very easy for Jade in this bag, that bitch character, to really talk down to someone like Jordynne Grace. And Jordynne Grace handles opposition like this in such a very believable way, right? Like this interaction between her and Jade definitely looked like there's one girl here who is dominant. She knows she's dominant and she's talking her ish to everyone, right? And she ain't backing out from anybody. And Jordynne plays this role of, wow, this is the type of energy that you're coming with. I'm not exactly sure what to do with this, but if you think that I'm about to back down from you, you're sadly mistaken. And I think that it works out well. She's able to play that face that's not a coward in these situations and not stupid. Because that's my biggest complaint right now with one Cody Rhodes, is that he plays the good guy so tight to the vest and so truncated in a sense that he does things sometimes that come off as like borderline stupid. Like he makes decisions sometimes that just seem like, for a good guy, you seem really like short-tempered. And but I will say again,
it just, for Cody, it works for me because that is the Cody character for me.
Sure. And listen, I appreciate that.
It's so babyface that he's dumb, but I love it.
I appreciate it. Listen, he plays that role Well, I think that aspect of his character is a criticism that I will always bring up when the storytelling genuinely makes him look dumb. Like it genuinely makes him look dumb. And listen, if that's part of the character, then maybe that's less of a criticism and more of an observation. And, if that's the case, then, hey, I'm just making an observation that sometimes Cody be looking stupid. Like he's so baby faced that he is, well, you know what? I'll bet my whole house because I'm going to, like,
Yeah,
bro, I wouldn't do that.
yeah. It's just
That's a
it's
little much, dude.
yeah.
You're going a little too far. Like, just,
It just yeah, it works for me. If everyone did it, I wouldn't like it. But for some reason, like you just I don't know. And it's not that like you believe that Cody's really like that, but I believe the Cody character believes in that so much that it
sure.
works.
Oh, yeah. I'm curious to see what a heel Cody is going to look like. Like there is a level where you can be so righteously good that you're doing things because you believe them to be the right thing. That to me is always an interesting dynamic to play with the character is you're doing something that everybody conceives and perceives as being heelish, but you're doing it because you genuinely believe it's the right thing to do. And you cannot be convinced otherwise. And if they ever go with heel Cody, I think that's the route they should go. Like, don't make him into a bad guy and talking down to the fans and stuff like that. He should really not understand why people hate his actions and genuinely feel like the fans have turned on him. It's a sympathetic heel that no one has sympathy for. And I think it would work great for that character. But when it comes to Grace, Jordan Grace, like, she's none of that. Like, her arms are crossed in front of Jade. Like, you can talk your ish all you want. I hear you. Not sure why you're barking in this direction, but it's whatever. I'm not backing down from you. And if you're trying to challenge me to something, challenge accepted. I think it's going to be a great real first feud for Jade. And they have not announced this yet because Jade kind of talks this ish to everybody. But I'm trying to
Yeah,
speak
I
this
was
into
gonna say
existence.
I wonder if we are getting it now or if that's just a tease for something later. Because we've had teases like this before. I mean, just even with Jade, like we've done this with Charlotte, I think, a couple times, and we still are waiting on Jade Charlotte. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
And listen, we've had a lot of these interactions with Jordan Grace and other people backstage, aside from just Jade, right? So I definitely feel like they're putting some direct emphasis on Jordan Grace as being a player in the women's division for sure. I would not put it past WWE, particularly because we've got the Royal Rumble looming. I wouldn't put it past WWE to have Jordan Grace win the Royal Rumble. And
is that a prediction?
I don't know. Like, I'm not sure if I'm invested in that myself yet, but in light of the fact that the women's world champion is Stephanie Vaquer, the fact that in my mind right now, I can't think of a storyline between two people with regard to Stephanie Vaquer that could reasonably equate to a person winning the Royal Rumble and challenging her for the title. The fact that they've been building so heavily on this idea that Jade is in everybody's face. Obviously, she ain't afraid of anybody, right? But she's talking that trash to everyone. And the fact that they've almost tried to parallel this with Jordan Grace. She's been, courting both shows. She's coming to the thing, and everybody is like stepping up to her and talking trash to her, right? While she's doing this. And so it makes me think that you're already showing these shades of Jade and Jordan against everyone, right? That's what the Royal Rumble is. That's one person against everybody else. And so I could see, because Jordan Grace wouldn't be her first time in the Royal Rumble. It wouldn't be her first time having a great showing in the Royal Rumble. And what better way to really take somebody that you seem to be investing in and show the world definitively that we are putting our eggs in this basket. Now, would she beat Jade if she challenged her for the title? I don't know. Maybe you don't move that quickly, right? You cement Jade as a monster heel, right? And then give Jordan Grace her moment a little bit further down the line. But for her to win the Rumble, that's huge. That's huge. You know what I mean? So I could see it. And if they keep going this route, I can definitely say that I could be convinced. Be convinced.
We'll see. I'm not there. I'm not there on the Rumble yet. We really haven't started Rumble build. I expect that to kind of start here in the next couple weeks, but maybe we just go into it with not a huge amount of build for the Rumble matches themselves, which honestly I'd be okay with as a change. Just don't even drop any breadcrumbs. Just
Yeah.
don't even tell us who's coming back. Just, I don't know. Maybe that's the wrong way to go about it, but it'd be a nice change. Like if we don't have the everyone brawls in the ring, I'm entering segments.
Yeah.
I
No, I
get
get
why they
that.
do those and those work, but we're coming up on it. It's not too far away. A little over 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I guess I agree with you. I agree with you there 100%. I don't know if we need the declaring of entering into the Rumble, particularly.
It would be
Because
fun for 1 year to just be like, damn, we don't even know who's in it. Like, who's
yeah,
going to show up and who's going to win? We don't have any idea.
very true. Very true. And listen, it's clear that WWE currently is also not in the camp of making it very clear who's going to be the champion by the time you get to the Rumble. I don't think anybody had Drew beating Cody on their bingo card on Raw. I mean, on SmackDown, sorry. But you do this 3 stages of hell, and I believe, did Drew win the first fall?
Yes, Drew did win the first fall.
And then Cody won the second. And then we get the 3
Cody
stages
won
of
the
hell.
second.
And we have a really great match. Obviously, Cody starts bleeding because he bleeds all the time. And we have a really great match. And folks, this one ends as clean as a whistle. Cody gets pinned in the ring. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. We have a match going on, and WWE pulls a card that we have not seen in a long time, Skeeter. Wait, that's also not true. We get a hooded figure. And the hooded figure,
yes.
I think that's the same black hoodie. I think they keep it backstage, and they're just like,
no.
And they hand it to him like, here you
They
go.
have to have it in different sizes at least.
They're like, here you go. This is the black hoodie. Make it happen.
I don't think everyone wears the same size.
And they hand the black hoodie to the person. And when they pull the black hoodie off, it is none other than a returning Jacob Fatu. Jacob Fatu immediately begins to give us clues as to who attacked him backstage. And it was definitely Drew McIntyre. And he goes in on Drew and he's bouncing Drew's head off the cage. And Cody, in what I can only describe as a bonehead play, instead of escaping the cage, winning the match, he goes and he grabs Jacob and spins him around as if somehow Jacob's interference cost him the title. And Jacob spins around and proceeds to start knocking Cody's block clean off too. And so now, while Jacob is beating up on Cody and Cody is getting a beatdown that he did not need to get, let me just make that clear, ladies and gents. Drew does the smart thing and climbs out of the cage through the door to win the WWE Championship. I did not intend on talking about Cody earlier to foreshadow this, but it seemed to work out this way. Like, I get it. First of all, let me back up. First of all, congratulations, Drew McIntyre. Could not have happened to a better person. And I hope, sir, that your reign as champion is long and prosperous because you have been deserving, you are deserving, and you have done some of the best character work at the highest level for years now. And WWE keeps bringing you close to it. And I'm not saying they're playing or toying with you, but they trust you. They trust you to do the job. And you go out there and you do the job. And I hope that this random championship title change on SmackDown on the European tour is not something that WWE is going to reverse course on in a couple of weeks. Let the man have a title run. Let him have a title run that is impactful. And let it be something that we can really sink our teeth into. Now, with that, Cody. I get it that this is part of your character. But man, for somebody who's so smart, how do you not know the rules of the match? You flip this dude, Jacob Fatu, around as if somehow he just cost you the title. As if somehow Drew is the champion. and he cost you the match and your chance at the title, as if a DQ would have made you lose the title, as if the match even had DQs. I am beyond baffled, sir. During the lead up to this match, how many times did you almost get stripped of the title because I just got to get my hands on Drew? Like, I appreciate Cody Rhodes. I love him on the roster. I hope he stays in the game. I hope he stays at the top. He deserves to be there for sure. I am not somebody who feels like Cody really does it for me. I think that he's way better at chasing titles than he is being the champ. To me, he hits a lot harder because that pure white meat babyface always seems to hit harder when you're chasing down the bad guy, right? But like a dog chasing its tail, what do you do when you catch it? When you catch that car, what are you going to do with it? And he catches the car, and then he comes out and he does the same thing every week. What do you want to talk about? And he drives the crowd crazy. And and somebody will come out and they'll challenge him. And Cody cuts the same types of promo every time. And I think that Cody is great. He is defined by the person he's in the ring with. And the character that they make him as when he is against somebody who is cerebral in their approach, it is as if Cody is blinded by his rage and he makes dumb decisions. This is case in point.
Isn't that the point though? I feel like that's the story here. Is that like he was blinded by the fact that he wanted to be the one to beat up Drew so bad after Drew did these dastardly things like burning that, printed out picture, and that cost him. I thought that was the story.
Yeah, but hasn't that been the story? And didn't he say he was going to learn from this the last time it happened? Like,
yeah, but this is his flaw.
That he can't learn?
This is his Achilles heel.
That he's learning deficient. He's LD.
Seemingly, yes.
You know what? Keep Cody's LD behind away from the championship. Like, if this is your story, that you are the son of a plumber, that you left the company, you were smart enough to leave the company, you were smart enough to build yourself up, you were smart enough to come back, you were smart enough to keep fighting and dethrone the tribal chief, and now your story is that you're struggling with mental illness. Like, just make it known.
That is one way to put it. He likes a good fight. He likes a good fight and standing up for what he believes in so much that it gets the best of him sometimes.
I just hope that Brandy has like conversations with Cody at home and is like, you got to work on that, hun. Like, it's costing you championships. Our baby needs to eat 24 karat gold food, not the checks that you get when you're not champ. And you keep making these dumb decisions and you keep putting us at risk. And now look, you're not the champion. You realize you are not going to get DQ'd. You realize you are the champ, right? You realize this. He's like, I know, babe, but I had to stop Jacob.
Yeah, you're getting it. See, you understand the Cody character.
I do understand the Cody character. I just don't understand why WWE places his character in front of me for me to try and understand. I understand he has a learning deficiency because he can't learn. He never learns.
Baby faces don't learn. They're the stupid ones.
Yeah.
That always is.
I don't know, man. Cena learned.
Did he?
I think he did. Listen, he learned the error of his ways after one conversation with Cody. He learned quick. He learned very quick.
8 years after he was on top of the company, he was out there hugging Mark Henry in his salmon jacket. So I don't think he ever learned.
Hey, listen, to be fair, Mark Henry was hella convincing, okay? I was there like, damn, Mark, I didn't realize you were about to retire, man. Listen.
I did too.
Quick sidebar, folks.
That's like I don't know why I brought that example up.
I'm glad you did.
Classic thing.
That to me was probably one of the best fake outs WWE ever did. That salmon jacket, Mark Henry in the ring talking about retiring. If you tell me that you watched that segment and you knew that was a ruse, I don't know if I believe you. I do not know if I believe you. That was so convincing. You know what I mean? That was so freaking convincing.
That was a good one.
Man, it was a good one. But hey, your thoughts, man. Drew is the new champion. WWE has a new top guy. And his name is one Drew McIntyre.
I mean, we've been calling for it. I've been predicting it. In classic, like what we like to say is they let it go long enough that I didn't expect it to happen here.
Yeah.
Like I expected it to maybe happen too many times that I was like, well, surely this isn't the time, and it was. And I really enjoyed the finish because it was definitely because it played right into my expectations that Drew's definitely not going to win. And especially having Jacob go in there and not do the look at Drew but don't touch him and then beat up Cody. Like when
Yeah,
he came in and started beating on Drew, I'm like, okay, well, here's the finish, and then we go into Jacob and Drew.
right.
And that kind of little mini swerve and having Drew just do the old, not the exact JBL finish, but the crawl out of the cage and kind of sneak the win away. I thought it was perfect. And I can't wait for this first SmackDown with him as champion because I think it's going to be really fun. And yeah, he does deserve this.
Yeah.
And I think yeah, we'll see where they go. I mean, seemingly we're going to do Cody and Jacob and we're not gonna get right back to Cody and Drew, seemingly. Oh, I forgot. We did figure out what Ilya was talking about because they're doing number one contenders matches for Saturday night's main event.
Okay. Number one
So
contender
yeah,
for
they're doing
what, the WWE
they're do,
Championship?
yes, they're gonna do like qualifying matches and then the winners fight at Saturday night's main event in the number one contenders match, and that's who faces Drew at the Rumble.
You know what? I'm not mad. I'm not mad at WWE taking something that I think worked really well and was the best part, in my opinion, of the John Cena farewell tour, which was the last time is now tournament, and using this more often. Now, listen, don't give me a tournament like every few months, right? But yes, utilize this when it's appropriate because it gives stakes to the matches and it does not require you to always have to build intricate stories all the time. And so I think that works out really well. And listen, don't take anything that I said, folks, about Cody in this match as I thought this match was not good and that the finish was not great. I thought the finish to this was absolutely excellent. Skeeter and I oftentimes do not text each other about what's happening on Raw or SmackDown or really discuss much before we get onto the pod. But this one, we were absolutely in communication about this. I remember telling Skeeter this could not have happened to a better person.
Did you go in unspoiled? Because I got spoiled.
I went in unspoiled. I had no idea.
I did a good job staying off social media. I'm like, okay, I know. I get an ESPN alert. The spoiler is just getting me.
Brother, this is why you always turn off push notifications.
I know. I'd gotten a text from I got a text from my buddy James Dorsey that's like, don't get spoiled. He's like, I won't tell you, just don't get spoiled. And then I'm walking into the gym a minute after he sends that text, and I get that ESPN alert. Oh, new WWE champion. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Well, can go on social media now.
Yeah. Look, ladies and gentlemen, listen, learn from your Uncle Skeeter. Okay.
Even then, I wasn't spoiled on the finish, and that was still exciting. So,
yes. It was a great finish. It was a great finish. And listen, learn from your Uncle Skeeter. Turn off push notifications. Yeah. They're not necessary. You can get to them apps whenever you get to them, right? But don't have it spoiled for you. But yeah, this ending was it was great. I saw it unspoiled, and it
that had
hit.
To be awesome.
Dude, it hit so hard. It hit so hard because everything you described, I felt all of that like in real time, right? Like when the hooded person came up, I had no idea who it could possibly be. When it was Jacob Fatu, I was like, okay, so this confirms that he's probably the person that Drew probably attacked him. Bet. I thought exactly the same thing that you thought. Like, okay, so he's going to attack Drew, and then at some point he's going to let up off Drew. Cody, I thought he was going to hit him with like a Cody cutter, right? Or a crossroads or something, and then go through the door and beat Drew. And then we were going to go into a program with Jacob and Drew. But then as Cody is Cody, right? And he spins Jacob around, I thought they were going to be like, what are you doing? And then Jacob started wailing on Cody, and I was taken a bit aback. And then as you look at the bottom left corner of the ring, of the screen, you see Drew crawling to the door. And I'm sitting there thinking, oh, please let him do it. I'm thinking, please don't let this be a swerve. Let him get out the door. And as he's falling through the door, I'm like, oh, he's out. He's out. And then the bell rings, and I'm like, it couldn't have happened to a better person. I'm so happy that Drew is the champ. And I hope that his reign is long and terrible. I hope that he is a tyrannical champ. And he should not let up on the gas with all of the social media stuff he does. He should not let up with the trolling that he does. He should be the quintessential modern day heel. And I think he can do it. I don't think there's anybody
I told you Drew was going to be in Saudi, and you weren't sure. I didn't say this is how he was going to be there, but I did say he was going to be there.
Yeah, what did I not think he was going to be there?
No, you thought we'd do something on Saturday night's main event, and I don't know. You were talking crazy. I don't even think you really believed it.
I don't know. Maybe I didn't. Because I can't see a reason why I would think he wouldn't be at Saudi.
See, now you get where I was coming from.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I wonder what we were talking about. But anyway, yeah, he's going to be there because he's going to be defending his newly won championship against whoever is the winner of this tournament. And yeah, we'll see. It's not guaranteed to be Cody. And if Cody goes into a program with Jacob, he's not going to be in it at all.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be.
Well, that's interesting because you know who I think then is probably going to win that tournament?
Who?
Well, actually, that I don't know, because that means he'd have to lose, or either he'd take the title off of Drew, and I don't think they're going to do it that quickly. I was going to say Obafemi.
Yeah, no, not yet.
Yeah, yeah. Don't put him in that spot. Maybe he's not. I don't even think you put him in the tournament because
don't either.
Yeah, because if he's not going to win it, he don't need to take a loss to somebody, not yet. So yeah, but listen, they are hyping up Oba like he is the second coming, and I couldn't be happier for the guy. I would be more concerned if we hadn't already seen a bit of Oba, you know what I mean, on the main stage to kind of see how the fans react to him. But no, he's made. He's made. But let's jump ship here, right? Let's switch from blue over to red. And let's hop over here to Monday Night Raw. So, things of note here. Well, let's just start with the big thing, right? So, CM Punk is going into a program with Finn Balor. This is going to be interesting.
I'm not going to say it's a program because I don't know how long term it's going to be. I could see it being next week and done. But I did like how they got to it. Yeah, I could see it being kind of a stopgap until the OTC wins the Rumble and then we heat up Punk versus OTC headed towards Mania. But
okay.
Look, regardless, I like what's happening, and I like how we got there, which is starting with that backstage segment where we see Finn doing as Finn does. He's just playing a little 2K backstage, and Liv and Roxanne come up to him, and Liv's like, hey, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Thought you said you were going to lead by example and run things, and you're back here playing video games. Why don't you show some ambition and go do something? Ooh. And Finn does. He comes out there and confronts CM Punk, says the line starts with him, and him and Punk are going to do battle in Ireland next week.
Yeah.
Where Finn will be the hometown boy.
Yeah, he's got the backing of his Islanders. Yeah, listen, that conversation backstage between Liv and Roxanne and Finn.
I want to correct Northern Ireland, I believe, because they're in Belfast.
Okay,
I think so. Northern Ireland. Don't want to offend any of our Irish listeners either way. Yeah.
Listen, I will say this: that conversation that was had backstage probably hit home for a lot of people, particularly a lot of guys. I'm sure there's some guys who have had that conversation before where it's like, what are you doing? You're in here playing video games. You said you were going to do something with your life. Go get a job. It's like, I'll show you. But most guys don't get to say, I show you, and then go out and like, look what I did. I just landed a Fortune 500 company. But Finn came out there and was like, listen, I'm just going to go challenge for the world championship. And he got a title match next week. In light of that, I don't disagree with you. I can definitely see that this could be a stopgap, particularly because of the way you laid that out. And I think it would serve the story of the Judgment Day maybe a little better. Though it's interesting because I'm not entirely sure where the Judgment Day is going right now, because the North Star of the Judgment Day is not around right now. And, you build a lot around Dom, and Dom's not here. And so now you have to kind of do something else. I wouldn't call it a pivot, but you're definitely having to take a route that maybe you weren't going to obviously take before. So this could be a one and done. And, Liv and Roxanne seem to be squarely in the tag team mode, with Raquel taking on Stephanie Vaquer for the women's world championship. I'll say this, dude, to that, with regards to Raquel and Stephanie Vaquer, I'm starting to feel like they may take that title off of Stephanie. Like, they're obviously setting up Big Mommy Cool. And like I said last week, you do not keep putting Raquel in these matches for the championship and have her continually lose. She's already challenged for it 3 times and lost, right? It mirrors Drew in a way, right? Like, how many times you going to put her in the championship match, she's going to keep losing? One of these she's going to win. And if you tell me that she's going to go into a 4th championship match with Stephanie as champion, and Stephanie's got this bum leg, quote unquote, right? And Raquel still can't beat her, come on. I think if she loses to Stephanie again, I don't know if you can take Raquel Rodriguez as a credible threat. And so I could see them utilizing this as a moment to take the belt off of Stephanie, put it on Raquel, and then, let Stephanie Vaquer either climb her way back up the ladder, right, to get back to Raquel and win the championship back, or put her in a new program with some other people and then bring her back around to the title after a little while. Because I can see if you put that title on Raquel, you got to tie that into the Judgment Day and the stuff with Liv, you know what I mean, and Roxanne. Because I do not think that Liv and Roxanne are going to win the tag team championships. I don't think they're going to win them. And I think that that's it's something that you said months ago, right? Which is, I think this is going to lead to an imbalance in the Judgment Day, which is going to lead to Liv and maybe Roxanne going with Liv to turn their back on Raquel and kick her out of the group.
It's what they've been setting up for the longest time, seemingly.
Yeah, I think that's probably where you go with that. But yeah, I think you've convinced me. I don't think Finn is going to, I don't think this is probably going to turn into a program at all. And maybe it turns into a whole thing with the Judgment Day turning on Raquel. Maybe not Finn attacking Raquel. That'd be crazy. But, him turning on her because she's the only champion and the rest of them can't seem to get the job done. So
yeah, we'll see. I think, I definitely think the Punk and Finn thing is a next week and done, at least for Punk and Finn. I think maybe the repercussions of that, play out within the Judgment Day. But it'll be fun. It's nice to see Finn getting a title shot. Yeah. It's been a while, so.
Yeah, I agree. Speaking of repercussions, so somebody got suspended indefinitely in what I can only categorize as one of the best segments of 2026. And yes, I mean that. I know it's been we've only been here for a couple weeks. But let me first say, shout out to Dragon Lee, okay? Shout out to Dragon Lee, because I do not think I have seen anyone, Skeener, take a more devastating spear at full speed from Braun Breaker with like almost a 50-yard lead up, at least. But did you see that shot, that overhead shot that they took of Breaker? Oh my gosh. He's flying down the aisle. It's at least a 50-yard stretch, folks. He comes flying down there, and without breaking speed at all, spears Dragon Lee into oblivion. I mean, it was outrageous. But let's set the table here. Braun Breaker is nowhere to be found when the Vision shows up. Adam Pearce tells Paul Heyman, when your boy shows up, tell him he needs to keep it cool. I'm not trying to have any issues or shenanigans or problems with him tonight, or with anybody in the Vision tonight. Tonight's not the night. Paul agrees. The Vision comes out and is doing their thing in this tag team match between Dragon Lee and Penta. You've got Austin Theory and Bronson Reed in the ring. Now, let me say this. The fans took full opportunity to tell Logan Paul how much they loved him. They made it very known how much they absolutely love Impulsive, how much they love Logan Paul, how much they love Drinking Prime. They were so positive towards Logan Paul, I think he may move to Germany. And by that, I mean they were completely negative toward Logan Paul. I mean, they just chanted F you Logan for almost 3 minutes straight. And to my knowledge, the man was just standing outside the ring. So
for the most part, yeah. But yeah.
So
the new of signing a quote unquote full-time contract, right?
Oh, did he?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Logan claims he's a full-time WWE superstar now.
Good. That's probably the best thing for him to do. Get himself under contract with WWE full time to, insulate him from any lawsuits that may be coming his way over, Crypto Zoo and all of his other dealings. Get that protection, sir. Get the insulation, that Netflix protection. They're gonna be fine. But I don't know Dragon Lee is, because Dragon Lee, is he still one piece? I think he is, because he got back in the ring at some point. Before we,
okay. I mean, everyone ended up taking vicious spears.
They did. I just have to stop because at one point, after Dragon Lee was torpedoed, Adam Pearce is outside the ring. He's in Braun Breaker's face. And he's yelling at Braun Breaker, talking about, I told you, blah, 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 blah. And the camera angle is set in just a way that it shows the inside of the ring and it shows Penta laying in the ring. And you just see from the backside of the ring, Bronson Reed climb up to the top rope and tsunami Penta, right?
Yeah.
And then Adam Pearce looks over, does his double take, and then slides in the ring where he begins to chastise Bronson Reed. Then camera 2 picks up, and camera 2 is shooting at an angle that has Adam Pearce chastising Bronson Reed. You see Dragon Lee roll into frame from the bottom of the screen, only for Braun Breaker to then climb into the ring and spear Dragon Lee again. I love this. This looks so great. The camera work was flawless. Then we get the angle. Adam Pearce is losing it. He goes up to Braun Breaker, who is towering over Dragon Lee. He grabs Braun Breaker, spins him around, starts chiding him, chastising him to his face. Braun Breaker, I can only describe as snatched him up with the strength and the quickness of a jungle cat. And he is berating Adam Pearce in the corner. In comes Bronson Reed, Austin Theory, Logan Paul to pull Braun Breaker off of Adam Pearce. They played this so well with Paul Heyman in the middle. He looks stunned that this is even happened. He is trying to calm things down. Adam Pearce is losing his mind. Braun Breaker looks like he's losing his mind. We get to the back, and Adam Pearce tells Braun Breaker, you're going to put your hands on an official. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. I told you. You're not going to listen? Listen to this. You are suspended indefinitely. Get out of the building. Logan Paul and Austin Theory, Bronson Reed proceed to help escort Braun Breaker out of the arena. Then we get the segment between Adam Pearce and Paul Heyman. And correct me if I'm wrong, Skeeter, but Paul Heyman says something about someone shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
And Adam Pearce is like, I agree. And now he's indefinitely suspended. And Paul says, oh, I wasn't talking about him. I was talking about you. Because if I saw things correctly, you put your hands on him first. And I don't know what he said after that.
I believe.
Huh?
Which is correct.
He did. He did. He was in the ring. He was standing over Dragon Lee. And Adam Pearce came and grabbed Braun Breaker and spun him around. You put your hands on him first. And as an official, you are not supposed to put your hands on these wrestlers. Even though whenever these wrestlers are attacking somebody, they put their hands on them all the time. But,
yeah,
listen, nuance of the story, right?
Maybe it has to be to stop an ongoing attack.
Maybe.
Not afterwards.
Maybe that could be the case. But incredible angle and it just leaves you on the edge of your seat for what's going to happen next Monday. Skeener, your thoughts on this entire segment?
I mean, you pretty much covered it. It was an awesome segment. I mean, we're just highlighting again just how destructive and incredibly gifted Braun Breaker is. I mean, just you're highlighting the best parts of him, which are the athleticism and the power and the explosiveness in that spear, and then his intensity when he's getting in Adam Pearce's face, and it's
Yes.
just a highlight to all his best attributes, and did a good job of that. And I can't lie, I was a little saddened when I was like, oh man, you're suspended Braun Breaker. Like, he's one of the best parts of the show. I don't want him to go away, but sometimes that the absence makes the heart grow fonder. But I'm interested to see what steps Paul Heyman will be taking, because like you said afterwards, he highlighted that Pierce touched Braun Breaker first. So who knows? Maybe the suspension will be overturned, or maybe there will be some the word is escaping me, but Braun Breaker will get something out of this. Maybe a good Royal Rumble spot or something. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes. But as far as the segment itself, really good. Really
yeah,
good.
I agree. Listen, what I would love to see come from this, either one of two things. One of the things is more reasonable, more rational, probably something that'd be likely that they would do, and something that's a little out of the box, a bit unconventional. They may not do it, but it'd be really fun if they did. So the obvious thing, that his suspension is overturned, right? And Adam Pearce doesn't like it, but technically he put his hands on Breaker first. He should not have done that. And Breaker had, I guess maybe Paul can argue that he had every right to quote unquote defend himself against Adam Pearce, and Pearce started it. There could be that. Or something juicy. What if Paul Heyman lobbies the idea that Adam Pearce assaulted Braun Breaker and gets Adam Pearce suspended?
I know. I was kind of thinking that too.
You know what I mean?
Acting general manager Paul Heyman.
Oh my gosh.
Would be. I was going to throw that out there, but didn't know if it was too far-fetched.
No, sir. Nothing too far-fetched on this podcast. I was thinking the exact same thing.
Except anytime we talk about The Rock coming back. That's
a bit out of the pale. That's a bit beyond the pale right about now. But dude, acting GM Paul Heyman while Adam Pearce is suspended for pending investigation.
Yeah.
Ooh, the amount of discord's not the right word. The amount of things, we'll just use that. The amount of things that the Vision could get into when they have no one really pumping the brakes on them is an angle that we have not seen WWE do in quite some time, right? Where someone has usurped power in a way like that. I would love to see it. Will they do it? I have no idea. Should they do it? Abso-freaking-lutely they should. That would be a great angle to run with. Absolutely. So we wrap this up with Gunther versus AJ Styles. Now, I don't think anybody thought that AJ Styles was going to win this match. The way this match ended, I thought was genius. I thought it was a great way to keep this heat between Gunther and AJ alive while on paper, AJ loses definitively to Gunther. The fact that they rolled that stat out about Gunther's win-loss record since he's been on the main roster. The fact
30-0 in televised non-title singles matches. I don't know. That for me was like, okay, we're kind of cherry picking here. Televised non-title singles matches.
Yes. So if he may have lost a match, but it wasn't televised. And if it was televised, it was for a championship.
Yeah.
Right. But when it comes to non-championship, non-televised matches, or televised matches, non-championship televised matches.
Televised non-title matches.
He's never lost. So,
and now he's 31-0.
And now he's 31-0. And apparently people are calling him now the
career killer.
The career killer. I'd heard that.
Yes, we debuted a new nickname.
Yeah, I
made sure to hit us with that. The career killer.
Yeah, I hadn't heard that, but
they're definitely going to run with it.
Yeah, listen, if I was Randy, I'd be a little upset. That's a little too
Yeah.
close to home. It's a little too close to home. But yeah, so
Well, I guess Randy would get him after they were retired sometimes. He'd beat
oh,
him
I
up even
see.
in retirement.
I see. So they've
Gunther
already
just
ended their
retires him.
careers and they've come back as legends. Now he's going to kill the legends off.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. There's a bit of contextual distinction there.
Yeah.
There's no gimmick infringement. So yeah, this match was great because both parties involved are really good. And the match ends with Gunther getting a pinfall over AJ Styles after the powerbomb, but AJ Styles had worked his leg the entire match. And I think after the third calf crusher, Gunther taps out, but the ref doesn't see it because he taps out on the blind side of AJ Styles. And the ref does not see the tap.
We don't see it either.
We don't.
Another great camera work, great spot, great setup. I loved that finish.
Yeah.
I really did. I thought it was really creative. Didn't see it coming. And yeah, we as the viewer, obviously there's a section of the audience in the crowd that saw it, but we as the viewer don't really see anything. We just see Gunther has been in the calf crusher, and all of a sudden AJ gets up and starts celebrating. It's like, I won, he tapped. And we're like, well, we didn't see it. And I thought that did a good job of like putting us in the referee's shoes and understanding like we saw kind of what the referee saw, which was no tap.
Right. No, I agree. I mean, look, and that's the perspective that oftentimes we don't get to see as people on TV that, well, let me rephrase that. We oftentimes, when we're watching matches on television, we will see things that the crowd doesn't see, right? Because we have multiple angles and we have commentary to speak to certain things. And so it was nice as a viewer for a change to be put in the position of somebody who's a fan at the show. Because I, like you, was like, why did he just get up? And my brain, because I watched so much wrestling, immediately thought he thinks he won the match. But why though? Why in the world do you think you won the match? And then when he starts talking about he tapped. I'm like, okay, so we missed something. We didn't see something. And then we get the angle where it's like, oh, he tapped on AJ's leg on the blind side of the ref. And the way that Wade Barrett played it up, first of all, I love Wade Barrett as the heel commentator, but also he's so right. You don't always have to win the match by pinfall or submission. You just have to convince the other person that they won, and then you take advantage. And it was a genius move on his behalf to get out of the calf crusher.
Yeah, it does a great. I think it puts the Gunther character in a great spot because, like, not only can he be physically dominant and just beat the brakes and choke the life out of someone like John Cena.
Yeah.
He can also just be dastardly and just very, very cerebral.
Yes.
And just a good place for him to be as a heel, to be able to win matches in underhanded ways. Because it's sometimes if you book someone to where they win so much, but it's always just straight physical dominance, it can pigeonhole that character. But the fact that he can also outsmart you, that makes for a heck of a mountain for any of his opponents to climb.
Yeah, I agree. I think it worked out well. And I echo your sentiment exactly. That move, in my opinion, felt less cowardly and more calculated, right? Like he knew he was in a bad state with that calf crusher. And so the smart thing for him to do would be to tap. But how do I tap and not lose? Well, I just make sure the ref doesn't see it. And you outsmarted AJ, you outsmarted the ref, and you won the match. And listen, and that's why I praised Wade Barrett's commentary, because he laid that out for the viewer who may not have understood how quote unquote genius that move was. And it was. And that's what you are as the ring general. You know how to win. And that's Gunther's shtick. And you hit the nail right on the head, right? Yes, he can dominate you in the ring. Yes, that is one way he is the best wrestler in the ring, right? But the other is because he knows how to beat you. And beating you doesn't always have to be beat you into submission. That can be outthinking you. And he outthought AJ. He outsmarted him. He outsmarted the ref. And he won the match. So, say what you want, but if the ref don't see it, it doesn't count. And so, yeah, I think it was a great story beat for Gunther. It keeps AJ in this whole feud without having him get a clean victory over Gunther. And I wonder, do you run this back before you have their blow off? Because I can't see how, in mentioning Gunther's record in, non-title televised matches specifically, how you then put AJ Styles in another non-championship televised match and have him get one over Gunther. And particularly because there's no title involved here, right? How do you get AJ with a victory over Gunther at all? Unless you put a 1, you know what I'm saying, in the 31-1. I don't know how you do it, but
I thought it was they found a way to get out of a tough spot, which is always good. But I really enjoyed it. Was a great match while it was going on, and the finish was even better. Absolutely. I really, really enjoyed everything that happened there.
Yeah, absolutely. And listen, I enjoyed everything that happened in this match. I enjoyed everything that happened on Raw. I enjoyed everything that happened on SmackDown. It was just a really good 2 episodes of pro wrestling this week. And
one thing I want to bring up from Raw that I thought was a little, I was going to say missed opportunity, but maybe I'm guilty of it just didn't match up with the way I would have booked it.
Sure.
Which, is we have Otis and Tozawa coming up to Jay and talking about getting a title shot.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And Jay kind of goes this way, but I really thought he should have laid in. And if we're going back to if we're going to explore heel Jay, I thought it would have been a good time for him to be like, what are you guys talking about? You guys are kind of jokes. Because that's what I was thinking when Otis and Tozawa come up, like, hey, buddy, you said everyone, we're looking for our shot. And I was like, oh, really? Are we doing this? I think Jay should have been like, you two, really? But he was like, no, I don't want you. Y'all are my boys. I don't want to do that to you. But I thought that would have been a good opportunity for him to be like, really? You two? You think you deserve a shot? But again, that's a small thing. And that's maybe me just being upset that it didn't go the way I wanted it to go.
Yeah. I mean, listen, in my opinion, and maybe you caught it too, but in my opinion, in that segment, I caught a bit of Jay's condescension toward them, right? He kind of started with it, but then he rolled into nah, man, I want to do, because if we take this challenge on, man, we're gonna have to put that work on y'all, and I don't want to do that to y'all, but it felt kind of like you don't take them seriously. And I don't know, I think that, in my opinion, I felt like that was a decent way to keep this edge onto Jay. Jay should be riding a bit high from the championship that he has now, right? And that maybe you play into this angle where it's like, yeah, he's kind of condescending. And maybe he takes some people not serious. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he doesn't take someone seriously, and maybe it cost him. I'm not entirely sure. It's certainly ain't gonna be Tozawa. Yeah, it's not gonna cost him anything with that. Yeah, but maybe not yet. But this could be the precursor, right? Because if you don't get any type of payback from taking this team seriously, it can only serve to reinforce that thought process with the team that does take those titles off of you. And I still think that Jay and Jimmy are not going to hold these titles for long. And I think it's because it's going to feed into this story that they're going to get back to with Jay. And in order to do that, he's got to lose these titles. And yeah, I mean, I thought it was a good segment. I thought they laid the groundwork for something that could happen. And when they get back to the States, I guess, when, Jimmy's able to, be on screen, because I guess, his legal troubles, he's not able to travel. But when they get back, they'll probably do a match with Tozawa and Otis, and they'll probably wipe them up, probably scrape them up pretty bad. And
you would think
that. But yeah, great week of wrestling, man. Skeener, what is your big takeaway from this week of wrestling between SmackDown and Raw?
Going back to what I mentioned briefly, is that the Royal Rumble's happening, but aside from a couple promos, you wouldn't really know that, would you? Because we haven't gotten our usual slew of declarations for the Rumble, and aside from the hype video where we've revealed the Linkin Park song as the official theme song, we haven't really talked about the Rumble a lot. And like I said, it's a little over 2 weeks away, so I don't know. Is it going to be different? Is it going to feel different, or are we going to start heating it up? That's certainly something I'm watching going into these next few shows.
Gotcha. So my takeaway, I'm going to say this. It's very interesting to me that WWE has decided to continue this feud between Becky Lynch and Maxine Dupree.
Yeah,
now,
we didn't get to talk about that. Yes.
Becky did a promo, and this promo video was aired following the segment with Maxine and Otis and Tozawa backstage, where Maxine is vowing to...
Was it? I thought it was the other way around.
It might have been the other way around. But
yeah.
Maxine vows to break Becky's ankle. Yes. This is going to be the match that's going to happen in Ireland. And the fact that we are still here and we haven't moved on makes me wonder if Becky Lynch is going to keep the title.
She's not losing it in Ireland.
I don't know,
but we'll see.
Like WWE has a way of doing these types of things to people in their home countries, right? Like they have a way of doing it, you know.
I think it would make Maxine too much of the heel to that crowd. I don't think they would do that to her.
I don't disagree, but then does that mean that? And this isn't meant to go into a whole nother segment, but like, does this mean that?
I think we're killing time until the Rumble is what we're doing.
Are we done though? Like if Becky beats Maxine, right? We should beat her for the title, right? And then we run it back, and then Becky beats her in Ireland. Are we just done with this now?
I think we have to be done with Becky and Maxine, which does leave the question, where do we go with Maxine? But I think we have to be done with it.
Yeah, maybe so. I
mean, we can work back to it in a while, but for the immediate future, we are done with it.
Yeah. We'll have to wait and see. I like the promo video. I thought the promo video was really great, very well done. And, shout out to Maxine, because you have raised your stock incredibly since last year. So hats off to you. But folks, this has been another great week of wrestling. I hope everybody enjoyed it. I hope everybody is enjoying it. And I hope that next week provides us with as great of a week of wrestling as we got this week. Because I'm telling you, I thought that SmackDown was really great. Even the stuff that I didn't like fit well into the picture, because the stuff that I did like very much overshadowed it. And Raw typically does a really good job, and they ain't been missing. So now it seems like if SmackDown continues doing what they're doing, maybe they'll catch up with Raw, and both shows will be very popular again. It's a really strong start for 2026. Let's hope they can stick the landing. Skeener, please let everyone know where they can leave some commentary about last week's episode of SmackDown, this week's episode of Raw, and what they thought about these two shows in Germany.
You can find the Lariat Lounge wherever you get your podcasts. We're coming at you once a week, every week, all your favorite platforms. That's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you get your shows, you will find the Lariat Lounge. Hit us up, interact with us over on Instagram at the Lariat Lounge Podcast. You can always feel free to send us a DM or leave us a comment on anything you think about the show, what's happening in the world of wrestling. And as always, the same applies over at the Lariat Lounge at gmail.com in the email inbox.
You know we're going to be there. You know we're going to be checking. You know we're going to be seeing what you guys have to say. And listen, if you have comments on the show and you want to get your voice heard over the loudspeakers in the PA in the lounge, send us this interaction. We'll be sure to speak on it on the show, give you our thoughts, and give you the credit that you so definitely deserve, because this show does not go unless you show up. So we appreciate you all from the bottom of our heart. We do this because we love talking with you guys about the world of pro wrestling. So come back and check us out next week for another great analysis of the world of WWE. We can't wait to see you. From your host, Everson Godfrey, co-host Andrew Skeens, this has been another edition of the Lariat Lounge. Please watch yourself on the way out.